Storytelling Festival for Children since 2002. And she's a workshop facilitator, a lecturer in Caribbean history and aesthetics. And she has a podcast called Juneteeth and Heart Bun. And of course, you are aware of her children's book called That's a Good Idea. So I'm going to invite Dr. Meeks, because of her unique role spanning storytelling and education, to give us some of her experiences with migration as it relates to education. Welcome, Dr. Meeks.
Unmute myself. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Since I am part of, as Bonnie Whaler would say, we are reincarnated folks from that time to this time, I'm crossing time with the experience of education. I don't know how many of you would have learned in primary school 30 days hot September, April, June, and November. All the rest have a 31, excepting February alone, which has but 28 days clear and 29 in each leap year. I'm looking to see how many of you will give away yourselves and put up your hand that you in fact know that. Not even Miss Alma put up her hand. So it looked like, say, I've been traveling with the grip before, Miss Alma. Be that as it may, the ancient Egyptians developed the concept now described as a leap year, as a solution to the problem of a year not divided into a precise number of days. But did you know that the people who are credited with dividing the day into seconds and minutes and hours look like you and me, look like 98% of Jamaican people, look like 98% of Caribbean people? They were called the Sumerians. People write it down, say they were of dark complexion. And some records describe them as being of chocolate color, that they were short but of sturdy frame, with oval face, stout nose, and kinky hair. I don't know who them could be talking about, but people who look like us. And if you ask me what happened to the Sumerians, I could tell you a short story. Them say, one time, a little boy walked up and down the whole world searching for the Sumerians. He had heard so many stories about how great they were. Him going to a school, because school is supposed to tell you all those things, and them teach him to write. And the teacher tell him that the oldest form of writing was invented by the Sumerians, but she didn't know where to find them. So maybe he should ask a farmer for anybody who can put a little seed in the earth and it turn into food, especially in these times when we need to grow our own food, grow where we eat and eat where we grow, must know a whole heap of things. So this little boy walk till him see a man into a big field, a dig and a plant. So him asked the man about the thing he was using for the digging. Is a thing that was invented by the Sumerians. A plow, a tool, or farm implement used for initial cultivation to loosen or turn the soil in preparation for sowing seed or planting. Plows were traditionally drawn by working animals such as oxen and horses, but in modern farms, they might be drawn by tractors. That means in modern parlance, the thing turn up, farming get more efficient. So the Sumerians gone into the realms of metallurgy. That is the science and technology of metals. Them start to make chariot and wheel. So here the little boy. Then them never get tired. And the old man say, well, that's why them invent sailboat and board games like checkers. And before the little boy could have asked if them never do anything else, the old man said, but what they love to do more than all was to tell stories. They loved stories. And they especially loved stories about their great king, Gilgamesh. His name is on the Sumerian king list, a list written in cuneiform on, I never say uniform, I say cuneiform on clay tablets recovered from the library at Nineveh. And plenty of you hear about Nineveh in the Bible. And speaking of library, did you know that the oldest library is in Timbuktu? It is a treasure house of information. Well, it's not just one library. It's over 60 libraries that make up the library of Timbuktu. But the main library contains more than 20,000 manuscripts covering centuries of the history of Mali, some of them now being recovered. The history of Mali. You know where Mali is? That is the place of the original Lion King, Sundiata. He's a 13th century prince who overcame his physical deformities to rule over Mali. You watch the Lion King from Disney and didn't even know that Disney had repackaged our own story of one of the most educated kings in the history of mankind and sell it back to us as fairy tale. All this was covered over, literally covered over by European enslavers as they sought to make our history invisible. And you ever hear the phrase, the real McCoy? Elijah McCoy was a Canadian-born inventor and engineer, but he really was of African descent. And he was notable for over 57, yes, over 57 inventions, most of them having to do with the lubrication of steam engines. But two black people were not allowed to register their own inventions. A white man used to do it for him. As Dr. Cox said, we're not being racist, we're just being truthful. And people start to make up all kinds of inferior products now and say, is Elijah make it? To them want some of the money. When the white man find out, say anytime he go to register something, people now coming to give him some inferior thing and say, is Elijah McCoy? Him just find a way to separate the sheep from the goat, so to speak. He would say, this is the real McCoy. That means it's genuine stuff, as genuine as Opal Lee. You must write down that name. Opal Lee walked up and down America for decades, campaigning for June 19 today to be declared a federal holiday. And it come to pass in the year of the pandemic, 2021. But it started way back in 1865. America never declared emancipation until 1863, you know. That is long after we declare it in 1838. And some states in America did send troops, armed troops, to prevent the enslaved Africans from knowing that slavery had been abolished. Texas hold out the longest. Never announced it until June 19, 1865. Not of them free will, but they were forced to do it. And that's how comes it that the day name Juneteenth. Well, Opa Lee used to walk from she little 2.5 miles every year to commemorate the 2.5 years them hide freedom from we. Them couldn't hide it from the Haitians though. For them never sit down and wait for it. Them get up and take it to them. And when France charged them for it, all when America sent troops in 1915 to rig the elections for it, all when the Haitians have to run away as refugees, as people start take money from them, the United States start to pay people to keep them for a certain period of time. All when them confront the US Coast Guards, them take it to them. All when people still treat them like pariah, them take it to them. Them know say, them was the first ones to declare to the elements, to the sun, the moon, the stars, the sky, say them was free. Them never have to say Queen Victoria give it free. Them was free, and that cannot be undone. All when them welcome we with open arms and write down in them constitution say all Haitians are free and all black people everywhere are citizens of Haiti. Furthermore, them put it into them constitution say no person of worth and no person is worthy of being a Haitian who is not a good father, a good son, a good husband, and especially a good soldier. Plenty more of those things we need to educate ourselves about. Plenty more of those things we need to remind ourselves that head come before book. And a lot of the things in our head, we have to put it in our book so that our children's children can learn. And so on the first occasion of the proclamation of Juneteenth as a federal holiday, we salute the soldiers on which we stand. We salute the rich tradition of knowledge which is our birthright. We salute the fact that the first item ever traded was a book in Aksum. And on the eve of Father's Day 2021, we honor all our founding fathers. We salute their warrior spirit. We give thanks for their sacrifice on the front lines. We give thanks that they taught us that what we know, we must teach to others. Each one teach one. And as we give thanks, may we inherit half their strength. And so I call in all my warriors to the front line. Hope you have your army and you're ready to shine. I said I call in all my warriors to the battlefield. I want to know that the blood inside your veins is real. Modupe, as they say in some parts of Africa, modupe, meaning I give thanks.
Oh, brilliant, 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 Dr. Meeks. As always, we really cherish you and the wealth of information that you just bottled up into that beautiful package. Thank you. It's a lot to unpack. And if we check the comments, we see give thanks, Dr. Meeks. Thanks and praises, Dr. Meeks. Love and likes. I call in all my soldiers to the front line. Honor and respect to Haiti. Salute. Thank you for bringing the education to us. Honor and respect for Haiti.
Haiti, we thank you. Take it, yes, Haiti, big up, take it, right? Preach, Dr. Meeks. Dr. Meeks, thanks for the science. Talk the thing, them, talk it indeed. There's actually a place in Grenada in a parish called Timbuktu. And growing up, we used to say you're behaving like you're from Timbuktu. And I didn't know at the time it was a real place, but now I do. So we have our own Timbuktu. Wonderful and wide-ranging and well-told. Dr. Meeks, you're always telling stories of telling stories. Brilliant, brilliant, our history. And it goes on and on and on. So thank you.